Should just be able to pull down and spin. Look at there. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Thingy's Garage. In today's video, we're going to be changing the oil in the Tundra and installing a Fumoto valve. Let's get right into it. Here are the tools and supplies you will need. Obviously, your oil filter. I'm going with a genuine Toyota oil filter. Picked it up at Walmart, and I'm going with Valvoline Restore and Protect 5W30 oil. You're going to need 8 quarts, so I have 10 here. Manufacturer recommended is 0W20 if you want to go with that. This is full synthetic. You're going to need a ratchet, adjustable wrench, 14mm socket, 12mm socket, your Fumoto valve if you are installing one, which I am, and an oil filter wrench. I have this Motive Tools one. All this stuff I will have linked down below in the description if you want to help support the channel. And for convenience sake, I am going to be using an impact to get my skid plate off. Before anyone says anything about this oil weight, I am going with 5W30 just because it's a little bit heavier weight oil. I've done some research on it and I just want to try it out. I know manufacturer recommended from Toyota is 0W20. That's all it's been ran in this truck as far as I know for the life of it, so I'm switching to a heavier weight oil. I am using this Valvoline Restore and Protect stuff. I've heard great things about it, so I'm just going to give it a try. I want to try and quiet the top end of the motor up a little bit, and I'm hoping maybe a thicker weight oil will maybe get rid of some of that chain noise, some lifter noise. I will be doing a little comparison before and after. I'm going to start the truck up now because it's cold and let you guys listen to it, how it sounds when it's starting and idling with the 0W20. Now, granted, it is about 5,000 miles on that oil, so it's not going to be top quality oil. It is a little bit used, but I'll show you what I mean by the sounds I have and see if there's any difference, and I'll leave that'll be at the end of the video. So if you want to skip to that, go ahead. But now we're going to be going ahead and installing the Fumoto valve, draining the oil, doing all that. The first step, because it is very cold out, I am going to let this truck warm up. As you can see, it is way below the cold mark. It's, I believe, well, I guess we could see 34 degrees out right now. So I'm going to let this thing idle for a little bit, and then I'm going to take it for a short drive just to kind of warm up the oil so it drains a little bit better, and then we're going to pull it into the garage and get started. We're warmed up, so let's drain the oil. Now that the truck's in the garage and we're all warmed up, I'm going to go ahead and take this oil fill cap off, if I can. That way it drains good. Now that we're underneath the truck, I'm lucky enough that I don't have to jack this truck up because I do have a small lift, and with 35-inch tires, I can get underneath here no problem. But there is 3 screws on the front of this bumper on the skid plate, so you just take a Phillips head screwdriver and we're going to unscrew those. Now, to get these 12mm bolts out, there are 5 of them, 2 up front, 2 on the sides, and 1 directly in the middle. On the back, we are going to need an extension, which I didn't list, so make sure you grab an extension to get to them. I'm going to take off these bolts, and I'll bring you guys back. Now that the 5 bolts are off, the skid plate is loose and should kind of slide out. Now, these front little plastic pieces kind of clip on, so make sure they're loose, and your skid plate should come out. Oh, I'm going to slide it back. Now, there is 2 hooks that hold it on. You have to lift and slide to the driver's side in order to get the skid plate out. So just kind of lift up on the skid plate, slide it, and then pull. It should fall right down. Now that the skid plate is out, we have access to the oil filter. But first, I'm going to drain the oil from the oil pan. I probably could have started that before I did the skid plate, but it's just a little bit easier to get the skid plate off and out of your way. So now I'm going to take a 14mm and crack this drain bolt open and drain it out. It is nice and warm, so it should drain out no problem. And don't lose your little crush washer. And if you do it right, like that, you can do it without getting any oil on you. Now I'm gonna let it drain. While we're waiting for the oil to drain out of the pan, we can come over here to the filter and grab this little filter plug thing, because we are going to take off the oil filter and it requires this thing. So we're gonna get underneath there with a 3/8 socket and extension, unscrew the oil filter drain plug, pop this sucker in, and hopefully it drains no problems. So let's get underneath there and do that. So as you can see, this little plug here is what we're going to be pulling off. It's just a 3/8 ratchet, and it shouldn't be very tight. Oops, wrong way. I mean, as you can see, it's not tight at all. Now, a little bit of oil may drain out of this, so be careful, because then we're going to punch this thing in, kind of twist and push up, and it should drain the oil from the filter. Sorry, I'm not getting any of this. It's kind of hard to hold this underneath here. So anyway, take that out, push this in, drain the oil. All right, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. I have the oil pan, drain pan underneath here. So we should just be able to loosen this. Might be a little bit of oil in there. As you can see, let it kind of drip off. Set it to the side. Grab our little plug thing here. We're gonna try to twist and push without making a mess. Oh. As you can see, it is draining. I have no idea if it's draining on me or not. Kind of feels like it is. It didn't, pop in there like it should. Last time was a lot easier. Oh, gosh. Okay, that was a mess. Now, there is a kit you can buy to make this a lot easier, and I would recommend it. I just don't have one at the moment, so this is what we're working with. The oil is draining out of the oil filter. It's covered in my hands, and we're going to let this drip dry till it's done. Then we're going to install the new filter and new Fumoto drain valve. All right, so now we're barely dripping. I'm going to pull that valve, little clear valve thing out, get my Motive filter wrench, pop it on there, and screw this baby off. Hopefully it's not seized and it's pretty easy to get off, so we don't have any issues. But, I may need some pliers to get this little valve out. So let me try to do that. Okay, this valve came out with some pliers, but if you notice on it, the O-ring is still attached and it's not up there. Luckily, the OEM filter comes with a new O-ring there, so we're not going to worry about that. I'm going to clean this up with a rag and then go to the filter. All right, got my filter wrench on. Hopefully this thing is not tight. It's coming off, but slowly. It's getting a little easier now. Okay, there we go. I need to upgrade this thing to the aluminum one. I may actually do that the next oil change, along with the better little filter to drain this. There will still be some oil left over in this filter, so just be wary of that. Okay, there's the old filter. Doesn't look too bad. Pour the oil out. I'm gonna just set this here so it's draining out, and then move. All right, here's our old filter. I cleaned this little valve thing up. Like I said, you want to make sure you get the old O-rings off, especially if you have the Toyota branded oil filter, because they come with new O-rings. So here's the old one. I'm gonna get my trash can over here ready. It should just kind of slide out of here. Look at there. Now make sure you don't lose this tube. This tube is vital for this, so it doesn't suck the filter, like squish it in. This filter doesn't look too bad. I don't see any major parts particles or anything in it, no big chunks. So we're gonna call it good, toss it, and get the new one. Now the big O-ring is right here, so I might do that first. Clean this off a little bit. This one is probably fine, we could still use it, but there's no reason to not replace it since we have a new one. There's our new O-ring. Maybe get a little oil here, just lube it up a little bit, kind of like the other oil filters. Just put this baby on. Maybe. No, my hands are slippery. And it just sits inside that little slot there. Now we can take this Motive oil filter wrench off now that it's filled with oil. And we actually can put this cap back on here. But in order to do that, we need to get this other O-ring. Same situation there. Put it in there. Make sure it's sealed in pretty good. Grab your little plug and thread this bad boy in. Now, I'm not going to tighten it here, but you just want it snug. Definitely do not over tighten. I mean, I'm pretty sure this thing is like 16 foot-pounds, I believe. No, actually, I think the Fumoto valve is 16 foot-pounds. I can't remember. It's not much to do these. Just snug that for now. I do not think these filters have a specific way to go on. You can just slide it on. I've seen some people clean this out. It doesn't look that dirty, and it's just oil, so I'm just not going to worry about it. There is a little spring in there. That's on. We're good to go there. Wipe my hands off. Now we can go back underneath the truck and thread this thing back on. All right, I am back underneath the truck here, and I'm just going to hand tighten this thing on because I obviously don't want it super tight. I may have to use the filter wrench. Yeah, I lied. I may have to use it. I will tighten up this little drain thing, though. I mean, you can feel it stop. It just stops. I'm not going to tighten it any more than that. I'm going to do the same thing with this cup here, this filter wrench, and tighten this bad boy up. It's a lot easier to just use this. And you can see underneath here when it will hit, and it should just stop. And I'm just going to give a little snug, and boom, done. So the filter is done. Now we're going to move over to the drain bolt and install our Fumoto valve. All right, guys, here's our Fumoto valve. I'm going to be putting this thing in. There is a little O-ring cork, little washer there, so make sure that's on. I'm going to clean up around the oil pan so there's no oil dripping. There's still one dripping right now, so I'm going to clean that up, and then I will bring you guys over here and show you what I'm doing. We are underneath here, and you see there's still a little bit of a drip. I tried cleaning it off, and I probably wipe it off again just before I thread this in. But I'm going to try to set you guys up so you can see what I'm doing. You can see there, hopefully you can. So I'm gonna wipe this thing off again. It's gonna continue dripping. There's not much I can do about that, but Fumoto says to hand thread this in, hand tighten it. So we're gonna do just that. If I could get a better angle, it would be great. Okay, there we go. So I'm threading it in. I'm gonna wipe it off again before I smush it. They want you to hand tighten this thing. So there's hand tight. I'm gonna get my wrench here. And that is just about a quarter of a turn, or not a quarter, sorry, an eighth of a turn. I'm gonna say that's good right there, as I actually really like the way that's positioned too. The position of this tube is great. So right now the lock is in. All you gotta do is take that lock out. And I think what I'm gonna do for content's sake is pour a little bit of oil back in, because I have some to waste. And from there, show you guys how it works draining. And it'll be my first time using it too. So you can use a tube, which I bought. The kit I have has a tube that goes on this. So you can use that. I don't think I'll need to if I just put a little bit of oil in there and test and show you guys how it works. But let's do that real fast. Okay, I threw some new extra oil I had in, probably about a quart, just to kind of show you. So here it is with the lock on it. I don't have a tube on there. I got my drain pan ready. So technically, pull the lock off, and I should just be able to pull down and spin. Look at there. Comes right out. Now it does say it will be slower, which is fine with me. This oil is cold. Like I said, it is like 30-something degrees outside right now, and it was sitting in my garage, so it's not going to be warm. The truck's already cooled off from earlier driving it, so it's going to pour out really slow. So I'm going to let this all drain out, and then we're going to fill her up. All right, so she's just barely dripping now. I don't really have the patience to wait anymore. Turn it up, over. Look at that. Man, that is so nice. That's going to be so nice for future oil changes. Be real easy. Now, what I'll do is this kit that I have came with a little cap for that. I'm going to clean these couple drips out, let them drip away, put the cap on, and I'll show you what it looks like after that. All right, clean it off a little bit. Here's the little nipple cap that I'm talking about. It should just kind of fit on there like that. That just stops any dirt or debris from getting in there. And then we can't forget our lock. It just clips on. Boom. Oil change down here is done. And no drips on the filter. So we should be good to go there. Now I should be able to start pouring the new oil in. All right, so this truck technically takes 7.9 quarts, or at least that's what the previous owner told me. And several other people looking online, that's what it said. I am just going to fill it to 8. I may do like, I don't know, 7 quarts and see what the dipstick says. But I really don't think that 1/10 of a quart is going to make a difference. So I got my little funnel in here. It's a wide mouth funnel. And let's try not to spill anything. I'm just going to dump this whole 5 quarts in for now because it's obviously going to take these 5 quarts no problem. And then I will get the other jug and start pouring in. Second jug here. I'm going to probably pour about half this bottle. Maybe a little less. And we'll see how it looks. Good thing about a wide mouth funnel, these things pour in easy. Okay, let's see where we're at here. All right, we're at like 2.5 quarts in, so technically it should be just about full. I didn't realize I poured so much. So this is probably 7 point, I don't know, I'm just gonna round 6 quarts in here right now, and technically it needs 7.9. So what we're gonna do is start it, let it idle for a minute. All right, I let the truck run for a little bit, and it's been sitting for about 2 minutes now. So we're gonna go ahead and check the oil again. Wipe off this dipstick, stick her back in, check the level. I can't remember how much I added the last time. Let's see. We're showing right about half, so I'm pretty comfortable, I think, with putting in about half a quart more. So I may do that. I may let it sit here for a little bit longer and see where we're at level-wise after about 5 minutes. This is a good time while I'm here to, I'm going to take my air filter out and just kind of spray it out with the air compressor, kind of get any dirt or debris out of it. All right, sprayed my compressor, or sprayed my air filter out with my compressor. Gave it a little more time. Now let's check this thing, see where we're at, see if I want to add any more oil. Yeah, it's still at about half, so I think I may add about half a quart and bring it to that top mark and call it good. All right, so now that we know the oil is filled and we're good to go, we're gonna go back underneath the rig, bolt up the skid plate, make sure there's no drips anywhere. Nothing was leaking a little bit ago, so I doubt anything's leaking now. And then that should be it. We should be able to call it good and be done with the oil change and Fumoto valve install. All right, guys, so that's kind of it. I mean, there's not much else to do. I think I went with about 8.1 or 2 quarts. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's below the 2 quart mark on my 5 quart jug of Valvoline that I used. So it's going to be, I couldn't really tell a difference between the sound. So I'm not sure if it made much of a difference yet. I will give it a couple 100 miles and see if I notice any difference in change and volume and stuff. But other than that, guys, that's going to be it. If you like this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. I will have more content coming out in the future with this Tundra. If you want links for that Fumoto valve or that Motive X little filter wrench, they'll be down in the description below. They will be affiliate links, so it helps the channel out. Or you can become a member, 99 cents a month, helps my channel out too. So consider one of those things if you guys want to help support the channel. If not, you know, no big deal. Keep watching, subscribe, and that helps me too. So thank you guys. It's not much else to say. That's going to be it, guys. Hope you have a good one. Bye.